Pokemon Go's not loading at all. G'day guys, and welcome back to episode 4 of WILLY'S Tasting Room. Nice job remembering to introduce it this time. Last week, we had a bit of a rough episode. We had a couple of beers that weren't quite as good as the other ones I've tasted. And I just want to say that in regards to those beers, I'm going to make an effort to find some English beers that are actually craft beers, because the ones I bought were from, those larger breweries. So quality's not necessarily there. That being said, I don't really have a theme for this episode, so we're just going to get straight into it. Failed to get player information from the server. So the first beer I have with me today is the Monteiths Ripa Red IPA. I'm not too sure where I picked this one up from, but I would imagine that a bottle this size probably goes for about $4 or $5 in a supermarket. So this one is 5.3%, which makes it 1.4 standards. So, Rate Beer recommends I serve this in a shaker pint glass. I don't actually have one on me right now, but this is close enough. The description on the box says this is a craft beer glass. Real descriptive. So I'll just go with that. So I perhaps should have tried to find a smaller glass. It really doesn't fill up a glass this size at all, but whatever. That's a really deep red. We're getting close to brown, but it's perfectly clear. There's only a tiny wee little bit of head, and it's disappearing. So there's basically no head at all. To be honest, I was expecting something a little lighter and a little more red than brown. So for appearance, I'm going to give this a 3. This is pretty uninspiring, but it looks alright. I like the colour. It's not too bad, but just kind of the combination with the colour and the head, it's really not special. I've seen 100 million beers like this, so that's a 3. Time for a smell. It's not hugely aromatic. That's a phrase. That's a good phrase. Man, put that on a t-shirt and buy it. Alright, camera ran out of space there. My bad. Most of the smell coming through there is a malty, grainy sort of smell. I'm not getting any hops at all, none at all. There's a tiny wee bit of sweetness there, like brown sugar or honey or something like that. It's almost unpleasant how grainy this smells. There's really not much else to offset that graininess. For taste, I'm going to give that a 3. It pretty much failed to deliver in every aspect. There's a wee bit of sweetness there. You can get a little bit of honey or a little bit of sugar or something like that. But otherwise, it's just like smelling the inside of a mash pot. I'll have a taste now. There's something a wee bit off there. It's got a really nice bitter hit to start things off with. You get a mouthful of that and it's very malty and still grainy, yeah, but it actually works it works okay. I'm getting a little bit of the brown sugar or honey or whatever I think it might be in the back there. But really, and this is becoming an epidemic. After that first initial great bitter and, a little bit of sweetness, it's not good. Again, like the beer I did the other day, there's like a somewhat metallic aftertaste. That's just not good. I really like the way this tastes initially, but yeah, it tastes like water that's been through a rusty metal pipe at the end. If I take into consideration the fact that this is brewed off a massive production line, it's actually not bad. Like, it blows beers like Tui or Spates or Waikato out of the water in comparison. The taste does grow on you a wee bit, but you really cannot get past that metallic aftertaste at the end. So for taste, I'm going to give this a 12. Like the 2 beers last time, it really is, it has 2 sides to it. Front half is really good, pretty much in the top tier, but second half is awful. It tastes disgusting. The bitterness and, slight sweetness work together really, really well, and that aspect of it is fantastic. So if something was done about that aftertaste, it'd be a lot better. In terms of mouthfeel, this is actually really good. It's smooth, and you can see that, that the head has stayed with it the whole way, and I like that. It's perhaps a little undercarbonated, maybe. It might come down to preference, but I think that this is getting towards being flat. So that's not great. So for mouthfeel, I'm going to give this a 4. Really, in terms of mouthfeel, the only thing that lets it down is that slight undercarbonation. Otherwise, really good. Really smooth, full-bodied enough. Great. Oh, why you no work servers? Pokemon Go PSA, if you want a Bulbasaur, come to the Johnsonville Salvation Army. They're there about twice a day. For overall experience, I'm really torn because in terms of flavour, this is objectively not good. In terms of smell, this is objectively bad. That being said, I kind of like it. I think you'd have to save this for a really cold night out, and I'd want to go out to have this. I don't want to be like this in my home. Get out of here. It's no wonder you don't have any friends. If you can persuade yourself to ignore the aftertaste, not too bad. So for overall experience, I'm going to give this a 6.5 for all the reasons I listed before. So if you add those up, you'll get 28.5 out of 50, which is 57%, or a C. So really not good. This beer was really, really, really let down by the way it smelled, and to an extent by the way it tasted. So can't really forgive it that. Alrighty, moving right along. The second one I have here is one that I know I like. This is the Tuatara Sauvinova. It calls itself a single hop pale ale, although officially it is an American pale ale. This one is 5.2% alcohol by volume, so 1.4 Okay, close enough. 5.3, 5.2. Bloody Tuatara. So this beer gets its name from the hops that are used to brew it, and those are Nelson Sauvin hops. And Sauvin hops, as you may have guessed, have to do with the wine style Sauvignon Blanc. So in theory, this has similar notes to a Sauvignon Blanc wine. Am I saying that right? It sounds wrong every time I say it. Sauvignon? Sauvignon? Seven? Whatever. So a really cool kind of innovation from Tuatara. I'd say Tuatara are only second in innovation to Garage Project. Ooh, crack this baby open. Before I do that, have some water. So, Rate Beer recommends I pour this into a tulip glass. Got that one right here. This has seen an unbelievable amount of use so far. This one is a lovely orange colour. It's pretty cloudy, and it's got about 2 fingers of head, so quite bubbly, and I would assume that has something to do with those Sauvin hops. So for appearance, I'm going to give that a 4.5. Something's a bit off with the head, I think, actually, but it's good. I mean, cloudiness, I assume, is only to be expected. I'll have a smell now. Oh, wow. It is really, really aromatic. Screw you, Ripa Red, this one's aromatic. So it says on the bottle, it says that there are distinct tropical gooseberry notes, and there really, really are. And that's fantastic. Like, honestly, top marks to Tuatara for getting it right. This is just so fruity. So it's very hoppy, obviously, and what's coming through gooseberry, and also a little bit of pineapple, and even a bit of grape as well. This is just really fruity. It's like tropical fruity. It's very sweet smelling. I love it. There's also a little something at the back there. It's like a little bit malty towards the end. That's also sweet as well. So it's got a really sweet smell. It's probably, I'm guessing it's caramel or brown sugar or something like that. For smell, I'm going to give this a 10. It is a 10. This is an amazing smelling beer. The main reason that I'm giving this a 10 is because the brewers have correctly identified what their beer smells like. Seems to be a bit of a problem for some other brewers, but Tuatara, spot on, 10 out of 10. It's fruity, but it's not just one fruit, it's varied. It's got those gooseberries, it's got pineapple and grape, and then towards the end, whoa, bit of caramel too. How you like that? So yeah, really good. And I'm going to have a taste now. That's quite an interesting flavour. It is very sweet to begin with, and it's really bitter. Very bitter going down. So immediately what you get is a bit of grape. I mean, I assume that other sweetness I'm getting is gooseberry, but I really don't know what gooseberries taste like that well. There's a wee bit of maltiness there, I think, but I'm not sure it's quite as sweet in terms of the maltiness as I was expecting, if that makes any sense at all. And then you get to the next bit. Wow, it's such a bitter finish. But that finish is also quite crisp. And instead of leaving you, reeling and having to take a long pause in between sips, I just want to come back for more every single sip. It's taken a lot to get my lips away from the glass and to actually talk into the camera. This is really tasty. Tasty. And what's really great about those two things combining is that it balances the beer out perfectly. It's very sweet to begin with, and if it stayed that way, it wouldn't be very nice at all. But that bitter finish, that drives the taste home. And so for taste, I'm going to give this an 18. It's near perfect, seriously. If I had to point out something wrong with it, it would be that the finish is actually a bit too bitter, and it maybe pushes it over the edge a bit. If that was refined slightly, I think I'd have myself a perfect beer here. In terms of its alcohol by volume, it's actually, the bitterness is actually quite heavy. It's quite overpowering. But the crispness really helps to offset that. Nothing wrong with the carbonation, nothing wrong with the body. So for mouthfeel, I'm going to give this a 4.5, and that's only because, like I said, this is a little bit heavy for its alcohol content, and that is the only reason. For overall experience, it's a 10. Seriously, this is one of the best beers that I've had in a long time. I have had it before, and so I've got a little bit of experience in it, but I haven't sat down and looked at it critically. And now that I am, I'm realizing that this really is a top tier beer. It's sweet, bitter, crisp, full-bodied, the whole lot. I would drink this, and then I'd drink it again, and then I'd drink it once more for good measure. Tuatara Sauvinova, you are the best. The best so far. So, if you add up those astoundingly good marks, you will get a 47 out of 50, which is 94% and an A+. I think, no, that's our second A+ on the show, but by God, it is the highest mark so far. I actually have a section in my book for beers that are 90% and above. This is the first one that I'm putting in there for about a month and a half. So I've been on a real drought of those A+ beers. So that's another 2 beers down, which makes 9 altogether. We're really moving along at a rate of knots. If you've managed to make it all the way through this video, thank you for watching. I've been doing my best to work on the length of these and cut them down a bit. I'm not trying to put less effort into them. I'm just trying to make them shorter so that people are more compelled to watch the whole thing. If you'd like to see more of my beer antics, you can click here for the previous episode, or if you'd like to see my thoughts on journalists, why don't you click here? Why don't you click beer? That one was for you, journalism class of 2015-16. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you around. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you around. Plane ruined it. Now I've got to wait a minute so I can say one line.